welcome back. Former British Paralympian Anton Raimondo is a South African-born volleyball player. He has brought the sport back home here in Cape Town, and we went as our city team to visit one of the practices. Let's see what went down.
My name's Anton Raimondo. I used to be a Great Britain sitting volleyball player and come to South Africa and set up the sport here with my partner Tina. And we're looking to grow the sport, and as you can see, the guys behind us are busy practicing. We've got a nice group of guys together already, and we're busy welcoming more people to come and join us in the sport. We started in the beginning of May this year, and we train every week on a Tuesday. It's been about 6-7 months now. I just love the sport. I played it intensely in the UK and represented Great Britain and went around the world playing in various competitions, World Championships, European Championships, landed up playing in the Paralympics representing Great Britain. And the sport's done a lot for me, both physically, being able to keep fit, socially meeting people, making friends, and I love the competitiveness of it as well. So it's a great way to be active and meet people and also be competitive. So when I came to South Africa, I realized that it doesn't exist here, and there's not many there's hardly any team sports for amputees. I mean, wheelchair basketball is probably the most obvious other one. So it was just fantastic to be able to start a sport that other people can come and join and we can play as a team. I'm more the founder of the sport here and co-coaching. The coach for the squad is Ricky Stevens.
Good evening, my name is Ricky Stevens. I'm a volleyball coach. I've been playing indoor volleyball, beach volleyball for over 30 years.
So we're kind of co-coaching, or I'm helping out here and there. I have had coaching experience in the UK and certified as a coach, and obviously done a lot of playing and coaching in the UK. But we need a variety of coaches here to help build the sport out.
Funny, I was actually given a call to come and watch some sitting volleyball, and to me it's a new version of the sport. I thought I'd come and have a look. I met up with Anton, who is a former Great Britain player, and I actually had a look at the game and I liked it, and I thought it was a new challenge, something new for me to get into. That's what got me hooked.
The great thing about sitting volleyball is you don't play with prosthetics or wheelchairs or anything like that. So, you know, coming out of an accident, as soon as your skin is repaired, you can be on the ground, you can be playing. You don't have to worry about being able to walk again or get a running prosthetic or anything like that. You can be straight into active sport. So it's fantastic from that point of view. The other great thing about the sport is also it's one of the few sports where if you're an amputee and you're missing a leg, for instance, you actually have an advantage over able-bodied players. If you have two legs, you've got more weight, you've got to move it around, your legs get in the way. So actually a single amputee or even a double amputee often has an advantage over able-bodied players. Guys, you know, just playing together, seeing the enjoyment they get out of it, being able to be part of a team, seeing them improving and getting motivated, that actually brings a huge reward to me.
I live in Stellenbosch, so we drive here every Tuesday. Loving sitting volleyball. I've got my husband here. He comes and plays with me, and sometimes our little son Ian also comes. He'll be 3, so he brightens things up a bit.
I actually lost my legs when I was living in London, and one of the physiotherapists at the hospital there, she knew Anton, and so when I came back to Cape Town, she put me in touch with him, and yeah, then I've been here from the first practice, and for me it was always more about socializing with some other disabled people and just spending time with people who understood this part of my issue, and who have gone through the same experiences as me. And I think I've never been very sporty, and I'm not very good at this, but I enjoy coming here.
My name is Missie, and my friend used to call me Patrick, and I'm from Congo Brazzaville. In fact, when I set foot in South Africa in 2011, And 1 year after I got an accident, unfortunately after the surgery they couldn't basically fix my bones and I lost my leg. And my first reaction was, oh my word, I'm a soccer player and I like sport, how am I going to survive? And I think 2 years after I received a call of Tina, who told me that no, there's a sport called sitting volleyball. I never played volleyball in my life. And I was very surprised. I arrived, I learned how they are playing, and now I think I'm enjoying it.
I was never part of a group, of an amputee support group, so this has been, although we don't discuss our injuries really, we don't really focus on the amputation, just playing a sport together is sort of therapeutic in a way, so it's been nice and great people that we've met, and I think, yeah, and I think what has also been good for me is just seeing what effect it had on some of the other people that have started playing, and just hearing everybody's stories and hearing how this just lifts their morale, and that's really good.
Yeah, I think I love how the relationships that we've built here, and I think my teammates can all be very proud of how they've grown in the sport, and I think it would be great if we could start, if we could gain enough people to actually compete, even if it's just against each other, to challenge each other and push each other further. And I don't have any sporting ambitions, but I think it would be very nice for some of the people here who've really got talent and who are doing really well.
People are very kind. You see, we basically socializing, meet people with one leg or no both legs, but we enjoy like everybody.
I think actually it's amazing what has happened already with the team. I mean, we've been only playing together for 6 months, and it's been incredible how people support each other. I think that's a very important part of the team as well. So there's a support structure for people with disability to actually go out there, talk about it, to pairs who've got the same experience or similar experience, and they can just openly chat about it, and it's great. And you get tips and ideas of, you know, how you can deal with certain aspects of being disabled. So I think the support structure is great, and I can see already there's some friendships bonding and people starting to, you know, chat to each other outside of the team and outside of the training sessions. And so it's not just a sports team. I think we're also becoming like a really good group of friends.
Now, to discuss this further in studio, we do have Paralympian Anton Raimondo as well as Missie, who are going to be just chatting to us about what you've just seen in the insert. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So, Anton, basically, first tell us, from what you've just seen on the insert now, it looks very fun, first of all. So just tell us, run us through again what sitting volleyball is and how you got into the sport.
Well, sitting volleyball is very similar to regular indoor volleyball. You still got 6 players aside, you're still competing for points, you're digging, setting, passing the ball, spiking to score. The only 2 major differences is that you're playing on a slightly smaller court and that your bum has to be on the ground when you're playing the ball.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's very, very similar. So because you're playing on the ground with you, and your bum's got to be on the floor, you're using your arms to move around. So you move and you're playing the ball. And because the court is smaller, your reaction times actually have to be quicker.
Yeah.
So people still hitting really hard, serving hard, but you've got to move and use your arms and then play the ball as well. And that's where you have to be extremely quick. So it's actually probably faster than regular volleyball. And I got into the sport in 2009. I had a motorcycle accident in 2006. I was in Argentina with my family on a holiday, and we were doing a motorcycle trip with my dad and brother, and we went through the mountains there, and I went onto the wrong side of the road and landed up going around a blind corner. And there was a pickup truck coming in the opposite direction, and we had a head-on collision.
Sure.
So I lost my leg straight away there in the accident and had rehab in Argentina. And then when I was strong enough to fly back to Cape Town, came here and had some more rehab and got prosthetics. And then went back to the UK because I was living there at the time. And as soon as I got back there, you know, the thing I missed the most was sport and the camaraderie of a team and the physical exercise and that sort of thing. So I looked around, and I never played volleyball before. And there was a club that existed just near where I lived, and they played sitting volleyball, and I hadn't heard of it. So I went along and tried it out, And it was great. I mean, I was quite fortunate that that club happened to be one of the best clubs in the country, and they had a lot of GB players in there already. So I could benchmark myself against them and understand what I needed to do to get up to a higher level. And yeah, it was just great, you know, the camaraderie, making new friends. Like you saw in the inserts, what's very valuable is just meeting other amputees and just spending time together. So I really enjoyed it and worked hard, and then got into the GB team, and yeah, that's how I got into the sport.
And bringing it back home here, how was it received? Like, how did you do all of that?
Well, Tina and I started it in beginning of 2013, and the sport didn't exist here, and I realized we'd have to build it up ourselves from the ground. So literally it was about phoning people up and asking them, inviting them to come and join the sport, finding a hall, getting equipment organized, and we went to different occupational therapists, different hospitals, universities, technicons, and we started putting posters out and flyers and sending out emails to all sorts of people, and just trying to get awareness out there so that we could invite people to come and join.
Yeah.
And like anything, when you start off, it's going to be a little bit slow and you need to build it up. But everyone who's come and tried the sport absolutely loves it. And what we're seeing now is people are bringing their friends along. I mean, Thuness is really good at that, and he's, you know, brought a few people along, and you know, through word of mouth, it's now starting to expand.
Yes.
Obviously, doing something like this and getting awareness out there through the media is very important as well.
Yeah. So, Miss, I'm gonna come to you. How did you hear about the whole sitting volleyball sport?
Okay, I got a friend of mine named Ibrahim.
Yeah.
He's also from Congo like me. He got a car accident, I think, and he lost his leg, I think, 2 years after me. And he just knew about the team. He's the one who gave me the contact of Anton.
Okay.
And I called Tina. Tina come home and fetch me. We were talking about sitting volleyball, and I was very surprised because I never heard about the sport.
Yes.
I heard about the volleyball. I didn't even know the rules.
Yeah.
And luckily I met Anton. He showed me some basics, and now I'm enjoying the game. Yeah.
And how did you lose your leg?
Okay, in fact, I set foot in South Africa in 2010. At the time, I couldn't speak a single word of English. And my dream was to go to school to learn English. After that, I can go to university to do computer scientist networking. So as I got my certificate in English, so I was basically saving money in June, and 3 months later, I've been hit by a car. So basically, I was on the pavement, and it was unbelievable because the guy just knocked my left foot, and it was broken. I didn't have an injury anywhere. I went to the hospital, and I spent something like 6 months, and my bone was badly injured. It was broken. Luckily, they tried to fix it, but a week after, I realized that I couldn't even move my toe. So they sent me to Rotescue for scanning, and they realized that my foot was dying. The guy didn't only break my bones, he cut off also my vein. It was just unbelievable. Wow. And the first thing I regret was football, because I was a soccer player. The reason why most of my friends used to call me Patrick, because according to them I was playing like Patrick Vieira. So that was that was my nickname. They call me Patrick.
Okay.
Patrick, yeah. And I spent like 2 years at home doing nothing, just worried about sports. What kind of sport can I practice with one leg? And luckily I found a volleyball.
Yes.
I joined the team, and at the beginning it's quite difficult because your muscles are just like so, your bumps on the ground. But for sure I'm enjoying the game, and Anton can tell you I'm improving for sure.
So Anton, I also noticed in the insert that anyone can play sitting volleyball. You don't necessarily have to not have a leg.
Absolutely. That's the great thing about the sport. It's fully inclusive. Men, women, able, disabled. As you see, you're on the ground, and when you're on the ground, it doesn't really matter whether you've got one leg or two legs or no legs. In fact, you might have a little bit of an advantage if you're missing a leg because you're lighter and you can move quicker. You know, your leg's not in the way, so when you reach down to play the ball, you're not hitting your leg. So I don't know many other sports in the world where it's fully inclusive like that, where as soon as you're on the ground, everyone's equal, or pretty much equal. And the great thing about this is you can play with your brother, your wife, you bring your kids or your friends or whatever, and everyone can just play.
So, Patrick,
Yeah.
what do you like most about the sport?
Okay, what I like about the sport is the movement, the way we're moving on the ground, just using our hands, and the bounce mustn't be up, otherwise it's a penalty. And the way we dig in, it was very difficult for me to dig, but luckily Anton helped me, gave me a ball, so I was busy exercising at home. So now I'm quite perfect at that, so I'm enjoying the game.
Great
Yeah.
stuff. Lauren, anything being said on social media about this sport?
Well, actually, someone has asked on Twitter, how far behind is South Africa since we're only getting the sport now? Which country has the biggest amount of support or the biggest amount of players, and who is like the champion at the moment?
That's a very good question. There's two countries which really stand out above all the rest. The one is Bosnia, Herzegovina, and the other one's Iran. And both countries have professional leagues. The players are paid to play the sport. They have very intensive training programs. They have something like 30 plus clubs in each country.
Wow.
And those two teams have been swapping gold and silver at the Paralympics for the last sort of 6 Paralympics.
Wow. Okay.
There's lots of other clubs, countries around the world that play. I think there's over 50, 55 different countries around the world that play. A lot of them in Europe, quite a lot in North Africa. So it's new. It's definitely new for South Africa and Southern Africa. There's not many countries in Southern Africa that play, but we're hoping that we can build the sport here, and maybe other countries around Southern Africa also will get on board.
Okay, thanks.
Have you come across any challenges in building the sport here in South Africa?
I think there's two things. One is awareness, obviously. I mean, you have to let people know that the sport exists and let them know what it's about so that they can come and join. And the other one is transport. I mean, we have a lot of guys who, perhaps on the Cape Flats, who'd love to come and play, but you know, either the cost of the transport or getting transport at certain times of the evening when we're training is very difficult. And so if we had a van or something like that, we can go and pick up players. I think that would make a big difference. But then, you know, doing something like this and letting people know that the sport is there, hopefully attracts people and they can come and join.
And how can people get more information? Are you guys on social media? Or?
We have a Facebook page. It's called Volleyball South Africa, and we put up a whole lot of news there and information about the sport. Or you can email in contact@paravolley.co.za, or just give us a call. I think they're going to flash up some contact details, so the phone number should come up there.
Okay, great. So, tell me about the time. You say that the transport and stuff is a bit of a problem. What are the times that you guys play?
We're training every Tuesday at the University of Cape Town in the sports hall there, and it's after work from 7 until 9. And yeah, we as I say, we train every week. We welcome new players to come and try it out, we're looking to maybe expand it as well and open other clubs around, so maybe one in the northern suburbs or elsewhere. And obviously we'll set up new training times depending on what's convenient for people in those areas.
Great stuff. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. We will put up the information on screen for you to get hold of the sitting volleyball. So now we're going to watch a clip of Anton in the Paralympic Games.
With this British side, 4-point lead in the third. Raimondo again. Aziani returning. Terrific work on the left-hand side by Rob Richardson in retrieving that ball. Dobel again setting it up. Anton Raimondo to continue serving. And that's out. Some terrific play by the British side in keeping that ball back in play. Well left by Raimondo, the number 8, who was on the near side, becoming ever more influential. And again to serve, try and seal this set and this victory for the British team at this Paralympic Games. edging closer, 23-12. Good block there coming in from Charles Walker and Anton Raimondo. Enough to secure that point. Richardson again. Aziani with the return. Raimondo, Doble. Raimondo goes for the kill. Moroccan hand on the ball, says the referee. Point goes to Britain. Set point, match point as well. 24-12. Richardson to keep the serve. Morocco scrapping for their lives. That's it. 25-12 in the third set. And a welcome first victory for this British sitting volleyball Paralympic team, who are delighted with that. The crowd are as well. 25-20 in the first, 25-19 in the second, and 25-12 in the third set, accounting for an energetic and gutsy Moroccan side who couldn't live with the power of the likes of Justin Phillips and John Monroe and Anton Raimondo. But Hicham Asabi and Abdurrahim Anis, be proud of the way their players have performed against what is, to be fair, a fairly partisan crowd. Why not? It's a great British victory at a British Paralympics.